All right, this is the Geometry Unit 9 review video. As usual, I'm going to go over the study guide that I shared with you. The study guide is designed to kind of give you a good idea of what to expect on the test. It's modeled on the test questions. And so I'm just going to run through the more math-based problems and leave the vocabulary for you. You have a list at the top here of the vocabulary. And then, so make sure you study those. And then we will get into the other questions. So again, study that those vocabulary words. Those are the ones you need to be focusing on. And then let's get into the actual review. Starting with the questions here about tessellations. It says, know the three types of tessellations. So the three types of tessellations are regular, semi-regular, and neither. So that there is a neither option on the test. So you'll have basically those three. So there are tessellations that are considered regular tessellations. Those would be where there's one type of shape that is a regular polygon. One type of shape, there's a regular polygon. Semi-regular is when there are more than one shape that are all regular polygons. And combined, those can make a tessellation. And then, of course, we have any other shapes that are not regular polygons that make up a tessellation. That's just going to be neither. So keeping that in mind, looking at the questions we have here, A is a semi-regular tessellation because there is the octagons here and the squares in between. Those are both regular. So then it's semi-regular. The middle option is a neither. Option. So it is a single type of polygon. They've cut it off, but you can see these pluses. But that's not a regular polygon, so that can't be a semi-regular or regular. And then lastly, we also have another type of semi-regular in the third option. This is semi-regular as well. Again, regular would mean that there is just one type of shape that is tiled together that is a regular polygon. So make sure you go study those. That's in the last lesson from the unit. Let's keep moving through this. Next is, I'm just going to make sure I go in the order of the review. A couple of questions. See, there's a proportion question here. Let's look at that. Let's see, here we go. It says here, the height of a 9-year-old girl measures 4 feet and her shadow measures 5.5 feet. Her older brother's shadow measures 9.5 feet. How tall is he? Well, let's imagine we have the girl here, and she is 4 feet tall. And then we have her shadow. Let's use another color for that. Her shadow is 5.5 feet. And her brother's shadow measures 9.5 feet. And we're being asked, how tall is her brother? So that's the X that we're looking for. So this is a simple proportion problem. It's pretty much, if you draw a picture, it's very easy to set this up. We have 4 divided by 5.5 equals X divided by 9.5. So to solve for X, we're just going to multiply both sides times 9.5. Pretty easy. 9.5 times both sides. All right, so we're going to go to our calculator and we're going to calculate 4 divided by 5.5. And then we're going to multiply that times 9.5, which is what we see right here. And we'll get the value for X because this is going to cancel out right here. This is going to cancel and we'll get X equals, looks like it equals 6.9. Okay, so that's the kind of problem you're going to see on the test where it's like set of proportions where you've got the height of something and the length of like the shadow, there's definitely going to be one like that. So you just need to set up a proportion and then solve for x. Next problem, choose the graphic that best shows the rotation of the preimage given the point of rotation and the angle of rotation. Now this on the test is pretty simple. You don't have to draw this yourself, obviously, on the test. You're going to choose from a set of options. And a couple things just to note. So first things first is you'll have the angle, like you see here. And notice that it's going to always be going that direction. So the horizontal part is the beginning in a sense, and it goes up. So in other words, the rotation is going to be counterclockwise. So if I was going to move point B, I would move it 50 degrees that direction. And so it might end up somewhere around there. Now, so what I'm telling you is you're just going to be looking at pictures and you're going to be picking where those points should be. So in a sense, point B would be maybe somewhere around here. Point C would be, again, maybe somewhere around here. And then point A would be somewhere maybe up here. So kind of hard to see. But I don't want you to sweat too much on this because really what you need to understand is you need to just visualize, has this shape been rotated 50 degrees in a certain direction? And you're just going to pick the the image that matches that information. All right, next one is a translation. Similar idea, you're going to be given the starting graphic, and then you're going to have to choose the correct response from a set of options. So just keep in mind you've got this vector v. That's how much the figure is being moved and in that direction. So in a sense, you're going to move d that way, e that way, and f that way. And so this would be maybe an example of what your final drawing would look like, something like that. Again, you're not going to be doing this yourself. You're going to be picking from a set of options that you have on the multiple choice. Let's see, keep going here. Next one is symmetry types. This is, again, mostly more or less vocabulary, but I'll give you the 4 types and show you which ones go with which in these examples. So the 4 types are rotational, which is what you have in the first option. Rotational just means that the figure is just rotated where it is in a sense. Then you have glide reflection. Glide reflection is where you have the figure is shifted and reflected, which is what's happening to these letters. They've been moved along a vector, and then they've been reflected on the other side. Then you have just plain translation, which is what we did in the previous problem where we had the vector, and it's just that figure has been moved or shifted somewhere. Not turned, not reflected, anything like that. And then, of course, we have line symmetry, which is when there is a line that the figure has been reflected over. So this T has been reflected over the line, and you see it there. So those are your 4 types: rotational, glide reflection, translation, and line symmetry. All right, keep moving. Again, this is another one where you're not going to have to draw this yourself. I'm going to go ahead and do this for you. They're giving us the pre-image, and they want us to find the post-image, or the image, rather. This gives us a scale factor of 2, which means this figure is going to be multiplied by a factor of 2. It's going to be twice as large. So assume that the center is here, and we are going to be moving that figure, enlarging that figure in relationship to that origin point. So what you need to do is you count how far B is. B is 1 above that point. So the new point B is going to be twice as much, so 2. So the new point B, which we call B prime, is going to go right there. Then we look at A. A is 3, so we go 3 more. Kind of gets us off the graph, but it's going to be up here at 6. and that's going to be A prime. And then we're going to have C, which is, you can see it's been over 3 up 1, so we go over 3 up 1 again. 1, 2, 3, I went too far. Over 3 up 1 again, and that's the new point C. And so you can see the new figure, I'll do it in another color, would be and so what you need to know is that you need to be looking for a figure that matches the scale factor, which in this case was 2. You're going to be choosing from a set of options. Next couple problems, we have a reflection. With reflections, you just need to basically count across the whatever the line is that they're giving you. In this case, they're telling us it's across the y-axis. Oops, sorry about that. It's across the y-axis, which is right here. So like C is going to be the same distance on the other side. B is going to be, see, that's 1, 2, 2 more on the other side. It's going to be over here. A is going to be, let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 over. So there's my new point A. So this is C, this is B, this is A, and then D is just 1, 2, 1, 2. That's my new point D. And so I would connect my dots, and I would have the shape there. That is the reflection across. So you just count the same number of points from one side to the other, and that's how you get it. And again, you're just choosing the answer choice that matches the correct reflection. Then we have another problem like the word problem we had earlier. We have a building that is 25 feet tall, and it has a shadow of 30 feet. And then we have a car that casts a shadow of 15 feet. So the question is, how tall is the car? So we set up our proportion. We have 25 over 30 equals x over 15. And we solve it in a very similar way as the previous problem. We're going to multiply both sides times 15. That's going to cancel, leaving me with x equals 15 times 25 over 30. And we get 12.5. And that is the measure of the car, pretty tall car. All right, last type of problem is going to be similarity problem. All you got to know on similarity is if all three of these fractions equal the same thing after they're simplified, then you have, yes, similar figures. So AB, it's right here, is 2. DE is 8. That reduces to 1 over 4. BC is also 2. EF is 8, which also reduces to 1/4. Looking good so far. Then we have 3 over 12, and that also reduces to 1/4. So because these are all the same, then we can say, yes, this is a set of similar figures. And that's it. So set up a proportion for each. If they're all the same, then it is yes, they are proportional. And that is it for our video for the review of Unit 9.